Another loss for Duke, the Pacers, White Sox, and the Packers.
It's just not my year for sports.
Or the year before that. Or the year before that. Or the year before that.
I've always wanted to be a fan of a good sports team, but
I don't want to be called a bandwagon.
Did you say you wanted to be a fan of a good sports team?
Yeah.
But you don't want to be a bandwagon?
Yeah.
And you want to like someone that's good?
Yeah.
Well, you came to the right place. I'm Ashanti Snodgrass, sports broadcaster and personal trainer for a good sports team without being called a bandwagon. Nice to meet you.
Ashanti will help. She's a sportsology master.
first step to knowing how to pick a good team is by knowing which teams are good. As you can see, she's preparing for the tourney we know and love, called a March Madness. Look how intense that is. She's taking notes like a champ. She's watching bracketology so she knows which teams are good and what she should watch out for, and watching the underdogs. The intensity in that face. Oh my God, that is a true first step to greatness.
UNC sounds like a good team to root for. They have their good years and their bad years. North Carolina's rival is Duke.
Notice how she is picking up on who the rivals are. You don't want to cheer for two teams that absolutely hate each other. Carefully watching that game.
Man, that was an intense, close game. I'm glad UNC won, though. I'm going to go watch the post-game show.
Won the game. It was an exciting game, but I don't know that either team played exceptionally well. They were really hard to
Roy
cover.
Williams, the GOAT.
The guy that's been hurt came back.
Step 2. Get to know how each sport works. Watch YouTube videos. Take more notes if you don't have a better understanding. Snodgrass here. I'm going to teach my new student, Leah, how to play basketball. You got a hoop. You got a basket. You also have a ball. The goal of the game, get as many balls in the basket as possible. You got that, young soldier? Dunk it. Yeah, like that. Yep, exactly. Got that? Basketball requires a intense game of hustle, and I don't really think you're hustling, so you're gonna run some suicide. You got that, young lady?
Yes, ma'am.
Faster. In case you didn't know, I'm also a part-time baseball coach, and I'm going to teach you how baseball works. Here is you're going to lightly tap the ball if you're on offense and try to run the bases. Yeah. That hit was so strong, she made it to first, all the way to first. That's rare.
Hey, batter, you suck.
Oh, look at that throw. That was out by a long shot. Did you see that, Rodney? Yeah. I'm not coaching basketball or football. You know, I'm not coaching, what was it again? When I'm not coaching basketball or baseball, I also happen to be coaching a football team. All right, so it seems as my football player has lost focus. Let's get in the game, son. Catch. Football is a game of catch. You throw things and you catch it. That's it. Watch this. She doesn't know how to catch, but that's why we're learning, because I haven't taught her yet, so I'm going to teach her before I yell at her. Stupid mother. Back up. Back up. As you can see, we don't really like to give our players water. They don't really need it. They just kind of think it's a break from practice. And if you want to know the game of basketball, football, or baseball, you do not get water or take a break. You got to learn the game for 3 hours straight. You understand me? So no water.
That's so good. I think I'm going to pass out.
She's just faking it. Look at that. That angle, that's just not right. Get back up. We got practice to finish. Get up. Get up. You ain't getting no water, son. Coach Sean. 3. Now that you have a better understanding, Coach Snodgrass here. Just got out of practice. Step 4, I believe step 4 is, now that you have a better understanding of the game, to pick which teams you want to root for.
Now I know which teams to root for. UNC for college and Chicago teams for pros. Except the White Sox. Ugh. Like them before they were good.
Whatever, man.
Wagon.
I respect that. Well, she dealt with that criticism. Leah, how did you deal with that criticism?
I'm not a bandwagon. I'm not a bandwagon. I'm not a bandwagon. I'm not a bandwagon.
She tells herself this every night to believe that she's not a bandwagon. And you know what? She's right. She's learning. She's advancing. And she knows her stuff. Teams you shouldn't root for, also known as the rivals.
I hate these teams. I hate these teams. I hate these teams.
What teams are those, Leah?
Duke, White Sox, Packers, and Pacers.
How does that make you feel when people cheer on those teams? It makes Leah feel sad. It makes her want to cry at night that people cheer for teams like that.
Those are losing again. And again. And again. And again! I guess they're just having a bad season this year. But I gotta remain loyal. I'll keep rooting for them even though they're bad.
That is a loyal fan. So step 5 would be to be a loyal fan through the good games, the good seasons, the bad games, and the bad seasons.
Bulls are 0-82 this year.
Cubs just won the World Series. Woo! Bears just lost to the Rams. Get tough. You might not know who to root for, but it's really important that you stay loyal to the same teams that you started off with, no matter what the circumstances are. Step 7. Pay attention to what sports commentators say. Stephen A. Smith is a little aggressive if you like to hear the truth and listen to tell him how it is. He's talking about the ex-Bulls coach, Fred Hoiberg, who they soon after fired. Burke, the best female commentator in NBA history.
But the competitive will that we just witnessed from these defending champions, Kevin Durant gone.
Notice how Leah is listening to what Doris Burke has to say.
Players hit that locker room, and I asked Steve Kerr, how do you deal
Taking
with this?
notes
He said,
as well.
You just keep going, and they played like champions.
This girl knows. Ernie Johnson is not a female like Doris Burke, and he's a little less intense than Stephen A. Smith. He's really relaxing, and he really breaks the game down very well.
Best scheduling, I guess. I go to work twice a week in the studio. I'm working on the invite with a handicapped child like Michael that we have. It's we just.
I'm a hoops addict, a junkie, and I'm
Yep.
watching him going.
Great job, Leah. You're going to be on that show one day. Being a good sports fan and choosing a good sports team is making sure you're wearing fan gear. As you can see, Leah here is modeling her favorite Bulls jersey. Yeah. Still, it hasn't outgrown her. She's going to wear that for the rest of her life. And you can see we have some Bulls shirts over here. We have a Bears shirt, nice Bears shirt you can wear on tailgating on Sundays and stuff like that, Don't forget the props. You have Cubs. You have a Cubs birdhouse. Locals make those. And you got the Fly the W flag. And, of course, you have the UNC bear. How cute is that? And we can't forget, over here, our jersey wall. Now, I am wearing my North Carolina jersey because, dang. And we have our Karl Anthony Towns jersey and a collection of basketball articles from all years. Kobe, and Bears, Bulls. Michael Jordan up there always waving and saying hello. Be supportive and get your gear today at the team shops, wherever you can find them. Right, Leah? Yeah. Can you do a little pose for us? It's not a necessity, but it's also really it comes in handy. Get to know the players well. Get to know who you're cheering for personally. And any NBA player, any MLB player, and any NFL player has probably spoken on Players Tribune. So as you can see, Leah right here is reading an article about Donovan Mitchell. What's it say?
The dream. I already know the first question you're going to ask.
He seems like a great guy. Look at that. That person, that's a true man right there. Look how she's playing 2K. What did you say you were? Crazy on the sticks?
Crazy on the sticks.
Oh, yeah. Look at her play. She's winning by a long shot. Xbox is better. Oh, man. The intensity in those eyes. The focus. No one's stopping her. Oh! Game point! Game-winning three-pointer. She just won the game. In fact, make you better at basketball in person and your knowledge about basketball. Facts. Get 2K20 now.
Wow, Leah, you've officially graduated Sportsology School. And here is your sash of honor. Look at that. Fits you perfectly. And we're going to give you a medal for complimentary reasons. 'Cause you did so well in sports learning training camp.
Thanks, Ashanti, the sportsology master. Now I know how to root for a good team without being called a bandwagon.
Anytime, buddy. Go out there and win some games for me. Go. She's on her way to success.
Now that you know how to be a good sports fan and not a bandwagon, let's do a quick recap. Step 1, meet me, the sportsology master. Step 2, take notes, watch sports on YouTube, TV, whatever you can get your hands on. There's plenty of videos out there, especially on SportsCenter and ESPN. Step 3, get an idea of how the sport works. You might want to know how the sport works in depth before you really start to break down teams. UNC and Duke teams would be step 4. Know the rivals. This is extremely important so you don't root for the wrong team, or you root for two teams that absolutely hate each other. Not a good idea. Step 5 or 4 or 6, I forget what step we're at, but the next step would be there for the good seasons and the bad seasons. They're gonna have bad seasons, they're gonna have good seasons. Make sure you're there for all of it, and that's what gets you out of being called a bandwagon. The next step, pay attention to what sports commentators have to say. There's a few sports commentators that actually know what they're talking about, believe it or not. Ernie Johnson, Doris Burke, and Stephen A. Smith are my personal favorites. Pay attention to what they have to say after games and the pregame shows and the postgame shows and during the game going on. Take notes if you have to. Go to games and wear the gear is the next step. As you can see, I'm wearing my North Carolina jersey, my Bulls hat. You know what's up. I keep it real on here. I wear my gear proudly. And the last step is read the Players Tribune to personally get to know certain players better. And there's also 2K, because 2K does make you good. Thanks for watching.